Welcome to this lecture. Today we are going to deal with these topics little quickly but in detailed approach. My name is Gunjan Subedi, and as always I'll be guiding you in this topic with practical explanation and examples when necessary. Before starting, let me kindly remind you to subscribe to My Lean University, which is my initiative to deliver free and quality professional education to your screen. Let's perform a challenge. Grab any copy of Wall Street Journal and try to find out if you cannot find the phrase supply chain anywhere in the first few pages. Yes, supply chain is so very important. You hear about the term supply chain everywhere now, be in the business news and articles, company meetings, reports, or in serious business talks. This wasn't the case just 40 years ago when the concept was very vague. Now supply chain or supply chain management is the heart of any business or any business transactions, even though people may not use the exact term. In this lecture, we will study why the concept of supply chain management has become so important and why you should be understanding the concept as well for building the best in supply chain management in your company. The concept of supply chain management started to grow to get known with the business world around 1980s, just at the same time of the development of personal computers. A supply chain is basically planning and integrating together of business, people, process or services in order to bring or improve the value of any product or services. As the world grew with communication and technology, and with the rise of computers, the importance of supply chain improved, as the world saw great opportunity in the business growth in the last 50 years, be it the case of America, China, Korea, Japan, or countries in European Union. I always like to touch case studies and real-life project implications of any topic. So in this lecture, let's study now how some Fortune 500 companies are using or had used the concept of supply chain management to grow their business, improve the value of their product or services, or reduce the cost of operations. First of all, let's start with the case of Intel. I choose this example because most of us must be familiar with the Intel. Intel is undoubtedly one of the world's most famous and largest manufacturer of computers and mobile chips. The world of semiconductor business is very competitive, particularly with the rivals like Samsung and AMD. So Intel had to think of any ways to reduce the cost of operation in order to maximize its business. Intel thought of a lot of ways, but all options, be it decreasing the transport cost and other operations and manufacturing costs, had already been tried. Note that transport and manufacturing are also the components of supply chain. As we studied earlier, supply chain looks for all the activities right from the customer's order to getting paid after customer receives the order. Intel found out that the only option was to try to reduce the level of inventory, which up to that point had been kept very high to support a 9-week order cycle. So the only way Intel could find to make supply chain cost reductions was to bring this cycle time down and therefore reduce the inventory. As a result, the company achieved a supply chain cost reduction of more than $4 per unit for a $20 at-home chip. At-home chip was the chip they were selling at that time. Okay, let's talk about another company, the Starbucks. The coffee shop giant has undergone through difficult periods of supply chain in the history. During the time of recessions between 2007 and 2008, Starbucks was facing difficulty in its ability to supply its 16,700 outlets as sales were severely falling. At the same time though, supply chain costs rose by more than $75 million. Starbucks had 3 strategies to tackle with the issue. First, to reorganize the supply chain. Second, to reduce the cost to serve the clients. And third, by laying the groundwork for increasing the future capability in the supply chain. By the time Starbucks had completed its supply chain improvement program, it had saved more than 500 million over the course of 2009 and 2010, of which a large proportion came out from the supply chain improvement alone. So these are some of the examples of how improvement in supply chain can bring profits in the overall company's growth. There are many other advantages of supply chain management, such as improvement in efficiency, as a good supply chain management helps to predict the demand accurately and plan accordingly to bring the best practices according to the expectations of the customers. Also, it can help in staying stable in fluctuating business environment and tackling competitions. It can also help us in decreasing cost by decreasing the inventory cost, eliminating damage to the inventories, and improving the relationship with the distributors, vendors, and customers. It can eliminate the damage to the inventories, and it can improve the relationships with the distributors, vendors, and customers. It can improve the communication with the companies, suppliers, customers, and vendors. And a good supply chain management also helps in improving the profit, as we observed in the case studies. It also helps in reducing the delays by making a sound plan in order to reduce the late delivery of shipments or avoiding the logistical errors with the distribution channel or improving the delivery plan. We can go on and on for various advantages of the supply chain management. Before ending this lecture, let me remind you to join my Lean University's premium membership and enjoy a total free access for limited time inside my Lean University's online library and get tons of free courses, free books, and lecture topics on project management, Lean and Six Sigma, operations and supply chain, productive and preventive maintenance, quality maintenance, data science, industry and sales management, Agile and Scrum, Kaizen or continuous improvement, and much more totally free. No strings attached. As we have limited seats, only the early subscribers will be given open access inside the premium membership, and remember, it's totally free. Please subscribe and share the video if you share the common belief that professional education should be accessible to all.